Now at 4, a tale of tragedy. The mom of a 24-year-old claims her son was shot and killed just as he was trying to turn his life around.
And this is all that's left from that rain band from Francine. We are getting ready for a hot and dry pattern ahead.
And a gridiron groundbreaking. The local school is soon getting a fresh start on its Friday night lights. Live from Indy, you're watching 13 News.
Hey there, welcome to 13 News at 4 on this Friday afternoon. I'm Dustin Grove.
And I'm Felicia Lawrence, and we start with new details in a deadly shooting today, and it happened on the northeast side.
A 24-year-old man was killed in that shooting at an apartment complex near 16th and College. Our Anna Chalker spoke with that young man's mother today. She joins us now with what she's learning. Anna?
Well, Dustin, Felicia, Rayon Matthews' mom told me he was just trying to turn his life around at just 24 years old. She says he was just released from jail and he moved to that apartment complex here recently. That's where police say he was shot and killed. Now, I want to show you some of that crime scene video we did get last night. Police tell us that shooting happened at the Westmont Apartments on Lewis Street overnight. When officers got on scene, they saw a person shooting and they found Matthews laying on the ground with gunshot wounds. That's where he was pronounced dead. Police say they did take someone into custody at the scene, but they were later released during the investigation. We also received a statement from the complex earlier today. They say, "We are aware of this tragic incident and working with law enforcement, sharing any camera footage. It is a shame gun violence is happening all over our city." And coming up at 5, I'll talk more about what Matthew's mom said about during what happened here at this shooting and why her family just wants justice tonight for him and her family.
All right, Anna Chalker reporting live downtown Indianapolis. Thank you.
And on to other news. The man accused of stabbing and strangling a man to death at the convention center downtown was in court today. Court documents show that another employee heard Alan Gosnell begging for his life while the suspect was allegedly beating him in the face. Police say several people called 911. Some followed the alleged killer until officers arrived. 13 News is still working to learn of updates outside the courtroom. Once we learn more, we'll be sure to update you.
Also today, we're hearing from one of the women at the center of sexual harassment allegations inside the mayor's office. Just yesterday, to bring you up to speed here, Mayor Hogsett signed a city county council proposal to begin an independent investigation into the city's policies regarding sexual harassment. It'll also probe how the Hogsett administration dealt with complaints against a former top aide. Lauren Roberts is one of the women behind the complaints. She told our Emily Longnecker this afternoon she's hopeful.
Whether I'm subpoenaed or not, I'm open to talking with counsel. I want to be helpful because I want to fix this. Because it appears that unless we survivors come forward and demand changes and be part of it, it's not going to happen.
And that's not the only conversation she'd like to have. More of Emily's conversation with Lauren Roberts and who else she'd like to sit down and talk with coming up tonight on 13 News at 5.
Well, for the first time ever, Indianapolis is hosting a national training conference for Crime Stoppers USA.
Right now, more than 200 people are in town to look over crime trends across the country and talk about how to stop them. Our Samantha Johnson talked with the president of our local Crime Stoppers. At 5:30, he shares what he wants you to know about preventing crime in your neighborhood.
And Crime Stoppers is a confidential tip line that allows you to report crimes anonymously. That number here, 317-262-TIPS.
All right, it's Friday afternoon. A lot of people getting ready to get off work or maybe head to the high school football field to tailgate, get ready for some football games.
And pretty good weather here.
Yes, it is.
If you like it warm, or if maybe you like it hot. If you like it hot, hang tight.
It's comfortable, friends. It is not that hot.
It is.
It's just a little uncomfortable.
I'm with you though.
Okay.
It's a dry heat. It's
Go ahead.
A dry heat. So in the shade, it is comfortable. We'll let you be the judge. Step outside and take a look here. 78 Crawfordsville. Most spots along and northeast of I-74, well into the 80s here. You can see where that cloud line is. Last several days we talked about there was a south to southwest trend on the rain band from Francine, and indeed that's how it's set up. Now we still have some leftover raindrops, a little thicker cloud cover there over Monroe County over toward Terre Haute. In fact, you take temperatures and compare them. 86 in Muncie, almost 90 in Lafayette. but we've got 78 Terre Haute, 72 in Bloomington, so a little bit cooler on the southwestern corner of the state. Game of the week is Fishers at Hamilton Southeast. Dave and Dom will have you covered on that. Of course, we have games all over central Indiana. This is the weather for us. Pretty good stuff here. East-southeast wind at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Maybe you're coming downtown for the Fever game. Enjoy it. It is warm right now. It'll be comfortable as well. We drop into the 70s by 10 o'clock. And that's the thing about the dry air. It heats up quickly, it cools down quickly. And speaking of dry, that pretty much defines our weather as we move forward over the next 7 to 10 days. I want to dive into the numbers on how much we had with Francine, how much we need moving forward, and how warm we're going to be above average. Now, if you do plan to come downtown or get to those football games, stay with Matt Standers. He has you covered on traffic.
Yeah, especially got to get to that away game tonight. Well, a little bit of slow traffic on the north and east side especially. The little blue icon that you see, that's an accident that happened earlier on I-70 that is now cleared up. As of right now, no accidents to report, but a couple slowdowns here and there, especially on the north side. We've got that usual slowdown from Meridian Street. You're headed eastbound past Keystone all the way to Fishers. We're a little bit slow there on the north side. This is where some of that red is showing up, where we got about a 12-minute delay right now as you're moving from west to the east. We also got some slowdowns there on the east side of the city as well. 465 as you head northbound. We're a little bit slow as you're passing the Lawrence Central High School exit, Shadeland Avenue, and then also coming into downtown, a little bit slow there in the southbound lanes on I-65. You can see that traffic there getting a little bit slow past 38th Street. So coming up, we'll have a little bit more updates on some of the traffic, new traffic starting to form there closer to the airport. We'll have your airport drive times here in just a moment.
Okay, we'll stay tuned for that, Matt. Thank you. And tonight is all about Operation Football at high schools across Indiana.
That's right, but one IPS school has not been able to play on their home turf for a decade. Think about that. Gosh, that's got to be tough. Gina Galeros shows us the much-needed renovations.
Every Friday, schools around the state gather underneath the Friday night lights. But as you look around on this field at Crispus Attucks High School, you realize it's been a long time since students shared in the tradition. But that is all about to change.
Every high school team, they got a homecoming, and we got to travel somewhere else to go do our homecoming.
Junior Darrell Taylor and the Tigers have to be the away team every practice and every game.
It's hard to practice, on a condemned field, and we got to worry about our safety and other safety.
It's been more than a decade since athletes have competed at all on their home turf.
Since I've been AD, we haven't hosted a track meet ever.
Overgrown trees and condemned stands, the 62-year-old field showing its age.
It's kind of heartbreaking, but we got to get what we get.
Taylor is finally getting a new place to play.
Our students deserve better, and so today is the day we give it to them.
The $6 million project will include synthetic turf, thanks in part to our Indianapolis Colts, an 8-lane track, and brand new grandstands. The field will also pivot 90 degrees.
The field is going to look nice. It's going to look nice.
It's set to be done next year, just in time.
Realize we're going to get a field by my senior year, and they'll be the first person to play on it since decades. It's amazing.
Finally, a level playing field.
We just want to be on par with other high schools, other townships, and other organizations, so our kids can have the same opportunities that other schools and other districts have.
And a home team advantage. In Indianapolis, Gina Galeros, 13 News.
What a ribbon-cutting ceremony that will be next year.
It's a huge space, and it's not being used, so the kids need it.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to see progress. Shortridge and George Washington High Schools are also getting new field renovations, and Arsenal Tech will get new grandstands.
Yeah, and then also what it does for the community.
You got it.
The community is going to just benefit as well.
Much needed.
Yeah. All right, well, the Indiana Fever will be back on the court tonight, hosting the Las Vegas Aces for the second time this week.
The team looking to bounce back from their 11-point loss to the Aces on Wednesday. Now, there is a chance these two teams will meet again in the postseason. That's because both have secured a spot in the playoffs. Tonight's tip-off, we're just a couple hours away. It's 7:30 inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse, downtown Indy. It's going to be broadcast nationally. If you want to see it on TV, you can check it out on the ION network. And a local sports legend will be honored this weekend. That's Razor Shines right there. He's going to be the first player for the Indianapolis Indians to have his number retired. A ceremony is planned for tomorrow, part of Razor Shine's weekend at Victory Field. He stopped by our studios this morning to talk with Chuck Lofton about the event and the biggest thrill of his legendary career. Take a listen here.
It was a year in Midland, Michigan, where the Los Angeles Dodgers drafted my son out of Oklahoma State University, and he was assigned there, and I was the manager there. And I had the opportunity to manage my son one year, and that is my favorite moment in baseball, period.
Shines played nearly 800 games for Indy over 9 seasons. Congratulations, well deserved to see that number retired this weekend.
Well, just ahead, the vaccine booster no longer needed in the U.S.
And an out-of-this-world look at a wildfire in California. Look at that. It is so massive, it's creating its own weather. How does that work? We'll explain.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I tell you what, we got temperatures approaching 90 over the weekend. And buckle up, we got a hot ride ahead in the 7-day outlook.